Tiny News Publishers, Kathy here. Going to continue our ongoing Tiny News Tech onboarding series, talking about how to manage your menus. As always, you're not limited to just watching the video. I'd love to interact with you in person, so take it as far as you can with what's here, but whenever you get stuck, drop me a message over in Slack, send me an email. Happy to hop on a quick call or, send some messages back and forth and get you squared away. Everybody's needs are a little bit different. The goal in doing the video series is really to open up time for the things that are a little trickier that you can't figure out so that I have plenty of time to help you with that instead of spending time walking through the same things that everybody kind of tends to need. The hope is you would be able to watch the video, and then that would open up more of my time for the things that really we can't cover in a video, like maybe needing to customize your theme or your branding a little bit or help hooking up an integration. So if there's anything I can help you with, please don't hesitate to reach out. And now let's get started. So I'm going to show you in this video how to link to a post or a page or a tag collection. And then specific to the Tiny News theme, I'll show you how to make a drop down. Okay, so here we are, and we're in my demo site here, just looking at demo content. I have better grammar than this demo content, just saying, okay? And we're actually looking at the Tiny News theme, but in general, what we're seeing with navigation will be fairly common across themes. So when we say navigation, we're talking about this menu bar up here. If you've just gotten your Ghost site up, you probably have Home and About up here and nothing else. And then most themes also have a secondary navigation section down here at the bottom. Again, this is just some additional links in our collection. Okay. A few themes do different things with secondary navigation. There may be a fly outside menu or something, but the majority of themes, primary navigation is our bar up at the top that might or might not be sticky. And then our secondary navigation is going to be some additional links down at the bottom. Okay, so how do we set that up? Let's hop over. Oops, not here. Let's hop ourselves over to our Ghost dashboard, right? So this is take your site name and stick /ghost on the end to get into your admin panel, right? And then to get into our settings from there, we're going to click on that little bitty gear icon in the lower left corner. And then we want to find navigation. You can find it on the left and click it there. You can scroll on the right. You can type it in the search. It doesn't matter. However you get there. And then when you do get there, you're going to click Customize. Okay. And this is going to pull up your navigation. Ghost does not, except for the two links, the home and the about that you start with, Ghost doesn't automatically add to or subtract from this navigation. So you have control over what appears here. Okay. At the moment, I have sort of a ridiculous assortment of things here. I think I was trying to see if I could break the menu in terms of how much was there at some point. But so basically what we have here is we have what words do we want to appear in the menu, go in the left column, and where should that link go, goes in the right column. You can put literally anything that is a link that your browser recognizes as a link in that right column. You can link to your own site. You can link to somebody else's site. You can link to Google. You name it. If it's a link, you can put it there. So you're not limited to linking to specific kinds of things. You can put anything you want. I'm gonna clear this out just a little bit because it's sort of silly. Okay, there we go. And so let's add a new item here. My spiffy politics section. I do not recommend actually that you make your labels quite this long because you have limited space across that nav bar. So generally, less is more, make them a little short. So, all right, take my own advice. We'll call it politics. Okay. And then I would need a URL that takes me to politics. Well, what is that? Do I have a URL that takes me just to my politics section? If you've been putting tags on your content and you have a politics tag, then you do. Let's hop over to another window for just a second here. And it looks like I have a tag called political. I'm going to go ahead and click into here and clicking on this. So my tag is actually not called politics, it's called political. I'm gonna click on it. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to see when I go to this political link and see here, I've got a collection of all my tags that have the political tag. Um, I want to see what that URL is. I'm going to read it out of the browser window. In fact, better than that, I'm going to copy it. Okay. So I'm going to copy this link. This is a link that goes to somewhere on my site that I want to give people a direct route to. So then let's go on over here and let's just put that link in and let's click the plus button. Okay. We're going to hit save and go look at it on the front end. Okay. So here we are. Let's reload. Let's get back to our home page. So you can see I cleaned up this list. Now I have the home link that I didn't mess with, and I have the politics link. And if we click on that politics link, it's going to take us to that political page that we just linked. Okay. Um, we're not limited to just linking to tag pages, although I like linking to tag pages. So let me spend one more second. How do I figure out what my tags are and how to get there? So let's go back to our main Ghost dashboard and let's click on tags. And this is going to show us a list of all the tags that we have. It's also going to show us how many posts we have in each tag. Um, Sometimes that's useful for figuring out, if you have a tag with nothing in it. Um, any tag that has at least one post in it, if it's a public tag, will automatically have a URL that we can link to. So you automatically get a collection for all the public tags. If you have internal tags, those tags are not visible in the same way. They don't automatically make collections. And you can see I've got some here that are kind of utility tags, right? Like I imported content and Ghost made me a tag in case I needed to see or maybe delete all the content that I had imported. So don't use a hash in front of your tags if you want them to be public. If you're using them for organization and you might want to be able to pull together a grouping, then you probably want them to be public. So these tags don't have a hash in front of them. Okay. And let's just go ahead and let's say we wanted to make a collection of the getting started posts. Okay. I can read here what the slug is. And I know that I will get a tag page at tag/getting-started, or I can just go ahead and click into the getting started tag and then click this view link. And that's going to show me that getting started page. And again, I'm going to copy it. And then if I were still over in my tag editor, let's get there. Name it anything you want. It doesn't have to match the URL, although it should obviously be clear to visitors where they're going to end up. Hit the plus button after you've added that line, and don't forget to hit save when you're done. You can also reorder your tags. So if actually I want getting started yay to be first, I just need to grab this little drag handle and drag it up. Okay. Now, so far, we've been changing what's in the primary navigation. That's the bar across the top for most themes. But there's also a secondary tab here. And that secondary tab is a great place to put things that you need to link to somewhere, but that maybe you don't want to give that top billing. A lot of people will put their terms of service and their privacy policy and maybe some other information that they want to be accessible on the page, but they don't really want it to be like the first thing people look at. You want people reading your news stories, probably not your privacy policy first. Okay. So, secondary navigation works exactly the same way as primary. Put your labels in, put where you want them to go. Okay. I'm going to make sure that I've hit save on this. And then we're not limited to just linking to tags, although I got distracted talking about tags. We can link to anything. So let's say that I think that this sample post here is really important and I want to link to this sample post directly. Okay. So again, I just need to get myself to this sample post. And let's do that from the dashboard. So let's pick a page because this is kind of like your process here. So I have a privacy policy page already set up. Here it is. It's garbage, right? Because this is my demo site. To get your privacy policy text, I encourage you to look at the resources on the Ghost onboarding page. There's a link that gives you some templates available and tells you how to interact with lawyers for reporters to make sure that your policies are just right for you. Okay, I'm just here to show you the technical bits. So we would have created this in the Ghost page editor, and then we would have hit publish up here in the corner to get it online. But then to get a link to it, I'm going to click that published link that's going to take me to where the published page lives. Do not copy this link that's got ghost and editor and a bunch of just, alphanumeric gibberish. This is the link to the editor. And although that link will take you back to this page, it won't take your public website visitors anywhere useful. It'll take them to the staff login page, and they don't have a staff login. And everyone's going to be super confused because you're going to be like, well, it works for me, but it doesn't work for them. So it's always super important that you make sure that your links go to your public site, not to the dashboard. Dashboard links start with .ghost. And if you have a custom domain hooked up, you can also recognize dashboard links because they start with your .ghost.io domain. Now, if you haven't linked your domain yet, that's okay. Your public links also have .ghost.io in them, but you can still recognize that you've got a link that is not the right link because it's going to start after the URL with /ghost. A /ghost link is an internal link that goes to the dashboard. Don't use it in your nav bar, okay? All right, so anyway, how do I get the right link for this page then? How do I know where it lives? Well, you can either just navigate to it if you've already got it linked from somewhere, but that's not helpful here, is it? Or you can click this button here that says published, okay? And that'll take you to it. Or over in the sidebar, you can click over here where it says view page. So on this page, I actually have two ways of getting myself to it. So I'm going to click this link, and that's going to take me to the page. And it's a good thing I did because my privacy policy, for whatever reason, its URL actually has a -2 on the end of it. I must have had another page also named privacy at some point. So I always recommend you navigate yourself to the page and then copy its link because that really guarantees that you are getting a link that exists and goes where you think it does. All right, cool. So I'm copying that URL and now I'm going to get myself back to navigation. Having a third or a fourth tab open here could be kind of useful, huh? Back into navigation. In secondary, I'm going to add a privacy policy link. And let's go ahead and let's paste that link in. My front end, my public domain is demo.spectralwebservices.com. So I'm reassured here that that's where all my links are going. Okay. Plus button, hit the save button. Now let's go look at it. And we'll just get back to our front page. Here we are. We can see our getting started yay link from earlier. We can also see down here at the bottom, there's our privacy policy link. I always recommend after you set it up that you click it. That you click all those links and make sure they go where you think they ought to go. And you should not see it. It should not be in the editor when you open it. Occasionally spot sites that have been online for months that have broken links in their nav bar. Don't let that be you. Make sure that your links are good. Just click them after you publish them. Okay. If you're not using the Tiny News theme, this is about what I have for you today. I do want to show for my folks using the Tiny News theme how to get drop downs. And actually, a number of other themes also use the same pattern for drop downs. Yours may, it may not. Source does not have user-controlled drop-downs built in. So if you're on the default theme that Ghost sets you up with, this is not going to work for you. If you've bought a commercial theme, it may well have drop-downs. If you need drop-downs, if you found the theme you love, but it doesn't have drop-downs, feel free to get in touch with me. It's usually a pretty quick fix to enable that. We can do a little custom editing on your theme. So happy to do that for you. Let's go ahead and let's get ourselves back into the editor in navigation. And the way that we set up drop downs here is we continue to use our regular navigation panel, okay? But we're going to start our label with a dash. And so the only really important thing about this link is that it starts with a dash, with a hyphen. Okay. It can go wherever I want. I don't have a link here, so I'm just going to say wherever. Okay. And let's hit plus, and let's go ahead and let's add another child. Um, okay. And then let's go ahead. Whoops. Ghost is going to tell me that's not a link. That because we shouldn't have spaces in our links. Okay. So let's see if we can get it to add that one and click save. And now let's hop on over to the front end and let's click reload again. And so now we can see for our politics link that we've now got this little caret next to it. And if we click it, it's going to open up and it's going to give us links to that content. Okay. You can make one or more drop downs. Starting with a hyphen means the first link above me that doesn't have a hyphen is my parent, and I should live underneath it. Okay. So that's how you set that up. These are click to open drop downs, not hover drop downs, because they tend to be a little bit more accessible. If you want hover drop downs, that's an option too, but you got to think about how are people on tablets going to interact with that. Okay. And let's go ahead just and see what it does on mobile too. So we'll turn our mobile mode on for a second. Um, and so we've got here we are in our hamburger menu. And then if we click on politics, it'll open up those child links. So it is navigable for people on devices without mice, which is important. We make sure everybody can use our site. Okay. The drop downs here don't work in the secondary menu because people generally are just happy to have more links kind of all piled up in that secondary menu. But again, putting that hyphen will cause these links to be child links. Please notice for this implementation of dropdown that the parent item actually is no longer a clickable link. Okay. So if you're going to do this, you need to think a little bit about how does that work. Make sure that, the thing that's here in the link, and you can just make the link a number sign, which is, I don't go anywhere. Is sort of what number sign means. Okay. But be warned that after the dropdown gets created, that clicking politics no longer takes me to the politics tag page. It instead just opens that dropdown. So think about this as a category label. It's not a clickable link once I make it into a dropdown. Okay. Some other themes that continues to be a clickable link. Again, it varies from theme to theme. Feel free to experiment with yours. That's all I've got in terms of navigation. So now you should be all set. If you've made some pages but are like, well, where are my pages? I don't see them on my site. Well, maybe you need to make links to them. And this is how you would do that. We typically don't need to make links to specific posts because they're going to just show up in our feed on our homepage. So I don't typically link to specific posts, but I definitely like to link to tags as a way to organize and group my content and make it easy for people to find the different sections of content that I publish on. And I also definitely like to link things like how to get a hold of me, my privacy policy, those kinds of things that might need to live down here at the bottom. All right. And that's all for today. As always, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Always happy to hear from you. And I hope that you have a wonderful day.